God morning, God afternoon, webcast tomorrow. Just go to tobiaslars.com, click on the webinar portion. Doing it on Sundays, 10:30 a.m. California time. It does change because Arizona doesn't do daylight savings time sometime, but right now it's 10:30 a.m. California, 1:30 p.m. East Coast. Easily mind controllable humans. Now, I'm not being negative here. People like sometimes, Tobias, why do we have to talk about that? And what's the solution? I want to jump to the solution right away. Methinks thou dost protest a little too much about you are avoiding feeling your own darkness, your own shadow, your own stuff, your fear, your terror. And if you don't feel your fear and terror, you get wars on terror. As within, so without. So if you don't feel your feelings, get real to heal, breathe your feelings, do the innerbodyawakening.com, the basic foundational Shiva technique, one of the 108 methods of reconnecting. If you don't do that, you're being used as a mind battery, or a battery, like in the Matrix. You're being used as a battery to keep creating this collectively insane reality that we are in. So, if you don't want to be a Matrix battery, you have to come out from under the Matrix. You have to come out wherever you are. You got to come out from it. This is Gabriella, my little angel. Keeps me on track. Wow, it's pretty this way. Notice we're letting our tree kind of grow low to create a bower of power, a bower of peace. And so, mind-controlled humans. I'm not being negative. This is simply to trigger. We need to hear things sometimes in 3D to realize, to get real eyes. Wow, I was so easily controlled. I was so easily duped. And then look around us and see how still the masses on earth are still easily duped, easily controllable by tell-lie vision. And it's not, anger at the media is really just a reflection of ourselves, because we're not ready to, I don't want to hear it, no, I don't want to hear it, I don't want to hear about it. I just tell me what I want to hear and give me pretty commercials with drugs that say, that'll take my pain away. Give me the sacred magic pill of Big Pharma and the magic wafer of the Vatican. I want a magic pill to take it all away. Or to quote Joey Ramone, Saint Joey Ramone, I want to be sedated. That's right. We are the ones that create the reflection of a fake news media or a controlled media that then controls us, mind controls us. It's what we want. I don't want to look at the bad. Look, my child's perfect. Oh, John, he rapes girls. Oh, no, I don't want to. No, my Johnny could never do that. Denial is not going to save you. So, easily mind-controlled people. So I'm not being negative here. This is just pointing out, you got to be realistic. Get real to heal. And then you do your own bliss. You do your full conscious breath, you do feel your inner body, you feel the bliss of it, you feel the freedom of it. As you exit the matrix mind control, you start becoming a god, like every teacher tells you, don't you know you're gods? But the mind control needs to be exposed. Edward Bernays, the founder of advertising or propaganda, marketing, public relations, image consultants, I call them, because it's so, I trigger me a little bit. Yeah. So here's some the fact that a big portion of Americans still, and they proselytize it across the planet, and even if you kind of went along with it, you knew it was BS, but you go along with it because it's a good moral teaching for the kids, sending them to churches. And I'm not picking on Christianity. Obviously the Muslim thing is absolutely off the chart, fanatical, religious crapola, murdering people, etc. And there can be fanatic Buddhists, but less of them. fanatic Hindus, but less. They don't tend to be violent sky god religions, meaning we put a father sky up there that wants us to conquer by the sword and submit to our religion, the sword at your jugular vein, right? But we do this. And so we actually sell our kids ridiculous stories like, Adam and Eve were the first people on earth. They were the only one man and one woman. Okay, wait, let me think about it. And they had 2 sons, Cain and Abel. One killed the other, so there's 1 son left. How do they create the whole human race? There's only 1 vagina with Eve, and there's a father and a son. Oh, what happened to the details of the story? Did she have sex with her son? The sons to multiply? How did that work? Or did they make more women they never told us about in the Bible, and then the sons and the daughters had incest with each other? No wonder we're an inbred human race. I mean, I'm being ridiculous there, but the fact that people believe that shit. And the Muslims are worse. And pick whatever cult you want. What, the Mormons? Scientology is not the biblically based one, but it doesn't matter. The mind control works the same way. You believe in your holy underwear, the sacred magic wafer, baptism is important, or, this is the right Sabbath. You can get people to actually believe that crap. Why are there dinosaur bones? The devil put them there to test our faith. I'm picking on that Christian ridiculous crapola. But the fact that we've semi-enable this, even if we go, well, they've got that part wrong. But this is good moral teaching. You keep sending the kids there, And the little boy that asks in class, about how did the other people come from Adam and Eve? How so many people did, And the mother says, oh, I'm sorry, Father, we're sorry. He tends to ask questions. We apologize. We're sorry he asks these questions, and he really, it's kind of embarrassing. Oh, Father, really? You want him to stay after class for extra re-education, Father? Oh, that would be an honor, of course. Please take our son into your private chambers and re-educate him. Insane. It's no better with the Aztecs. They made it a holy honor to have one of your children sacrificed on the pyramid and cut their living heart out and hold it to the sky god and drain the blood, and so families would willingly give their child to the Aztec sacrifice, or members of their family, as we willingly give our children to the raping, molesting priests. So I'm not picking on Catholics particularly. It's the whole idea that we're so easily mind controlled. We're so easily led to believe ridiculous stuff. Now, Jesus is real. But the way the story has been told and stolen and turned into that crapola, the Old Testament and, the New Testament totally edited in the Council of Nicaea and reincarnation taken out, the Gospel of Thomas hidden away, the Gospel of Judas, the Gospel of Mary. You might want to hear from the women what their experience was, just saying. No, it's canonical. Here's the canon that we're going to shoot your brains out of your head with, the canonical teachings. So it's really, this mind control is incredibly easy. Or you go to scientism. They go, well, that's obviously a ridiculous story about Adam and Eve, and the earth was created by some imaginary God in the heavens. Yes, that is crazy. So they throw that out. Then they go to materialistic Cartesian scientism and totally myopic, and they'd say no matter what, there's no divine intelligence behind this creation. And that's how you divide and conquer populations. You control them. One obviously looks at the other. You set them one against the other. It's so easy. So the fact that we can be, or Xenu on Earth, came and you have to go Thetan and go clear Scientology shit, and then people finally go one day, holy fuck, I believed all that shit? Because there's some good things. Yeah, the clearing thing, holding on to the e-meters, helping you to feel and process your energies and emotions, practical. But you got to learn to discern. You got to pick okay, this is the good part, this works, but this is complete fantasy bullshit mind program cultism. the holy underwear of the Mormons. This is a guy who had tattoo biker guy who used to be the sacred hand in one of the wards. In fact, the prophet's ward in Mormon. I learn about Mormons because I live around a lot of Mormons. And there's a secret magic hand that comes through the curtain and seals you. You get sealed in the temple. You get sealed. And you actually have to do a ritual that people have told me where you pretend to slit your own throat if you ever tell what happened in the holy temple of sealing. What? Right? And you have millions of good people. Mormons tend to be awesome Americans, hardworking, salt of the earth, being bamboozled and fooled by that. And the guy that used to do that said because he was a biker with tattoos and he'd be a good Mormon and he was asked to come and help at a bunch of wards. But when the Olympics came, that, Mitt Romney, that paragon of honest, intuitive feeling, not programmed at all. Could you say, does he actually have a soul in there, or is that just a totally programmed human? Same with Hillary. I'm not picking on Republicans or Democrats, Democrats and blood publicans. It's just a game. It's just a game to keep you busy so you don't actually heal yourself. As soon as the Salt Lake Olympics came, the undesirables in the Mormon community had to be hidden away so they could put on a good face for the world. So this guy was no longer allowed to do his sacred temple ritual, which he'd done for years, because he had tattoos. Oh, okay. And now he writes up, that was his wake-up call. But we're so easily mind-controlled. And then you get a New Age cult that convinces you because you have some nice experience from your own soul, and you think, oh, this is the guru that's going to take me all the way home. There's a few real gurus, but 98, 99% of it is fooling themselves. They think they're special. When I do the courses of awakening, occasionally we have major Shaktipat energy come into the room where people are just blissed out and there's healing going through the bodies. It's total pleasure. I know enough. Yes, I'm a bit of my cells are being used by Source, by God. But if I think my ego goes, oh, I'm the one doing this and I'm some significant teacher, fail. Cult crapola. So that happens, of course, no matter how sophisticated the cult. You can be the most sophisticated thinking people will join other types of cults, equally mind-programmed, because you haven't healed yourself emotionally. So it's amazing that you can fool people into believing Adam and Eve are the first people on earth, or, I don't know enough about the Quran, but I'm sure there's some major half-truths being propagated there, obviously, to get them to kill people for God, which is obviously insane, right? So, don't be a mind-controlled human. Decide that you want out of it. It's not easy because the mind control is incredibly deep. Very smart people. My friend from Harvard, educated, very smart guy, I had a summer job that I used to work. He sat and told me one day, I learned this early. My father was a nuclear physicist, very known around the planet for stuff that they were doing. Not the bombs, by the way. And he was not emotionally mature. I learned at 11 and 12, I'm telling myself, wow, my father's an intellectual giant, but he's an emotional midget. That was the language the 12-year-old was using at the time. And so you have to heal your emotions. My Harvard friend then later, when I'm 19 or 20, basically sits one day and says, he's noticing I'm reading autobiography of a yogi. He says, well, Yogananda's in hell. I go, how? What do you mean? Because the only way to heaven is through the Lord Jesus Christ, and no one comes unto the Father but through me. I am the way, the truth, and the light. Harvard educated, brilliant guy, good guy, totally mind controlled. I said, what about Gandhi? He said, yeah, he is in hell. It broke my heart. I go, holy cow, it's so amazingly easy to program human beings. Or on the scientism front, to reduce it all and miss the essence, the nuance of real spirit, real intelligence. you know. So, I recommend not being a mind-controlled human. It's not easy because you have to step out of your cult, your culture. You've been cultured inside a culture. You have to step out of it. There's many, many programs there, like someone's coming over, I better clean the house. Some people are so programmed they have a hard time walking out of a movie theater. They go, I don't like the movie, I'm going to walk out and ask for a refund. Or, give me a credit for later, I just don't like it. They're like, oh no, I'm breaking the rules. That's all fear, mostly by schools, church, government, cops, training you to be a docile, programmed, kept sheeple cattle. It's amazing how easily humans are controllable, mind controllable. And if you look into it, the Tavistock Institute, Bernays, Edward Bernays, I think was his name, the father of advertising, and obviously the Nazi mind control stuff. Don't go hyper-conspiracy, fear paranoia with it, where you start going into, well, all of the hippie movement was a CIA mind control experiment. No, it wasn't. Parts of it, yes. But again, it's not all or nothing. You need to learn to discern. Pick out the goodness. My ex-Mormon business partner, awesome guy, love him, with fun, playful, but I can see this part of him is totally mind controlled. Same everywhere. You have to be like the wise ant. Choose the food versus the stone. They look the same. Like if you take sugar and certain stone, the ant will just take the sugar. It's wisely taking the sweetness of life. I know sugar's not good for you, settle down. But that image, choose, learn to discern what's good about this. And where's the programming? We, the humans, are mind-controlled and programmed. Watch Manchurian Candidate with Liev Schreiber, who does that show on Cinemax. I'm just watching it because I want to really say it. Ray Donovan, amazing, good show, good acting. But Liev Schreiber, Denzel Washington, Meryl Streep, these are some heavy hitters, arguably some of the most powerful actors, actresses, and John Voight, who's, past his prime a little bit, but very famous actor, are all in the remake of Manchurian Candidate. Total mind control. That's real. Sirhan, who killed Robert Kennedy, would actually totally mind controlled. Trigger words, the whole bit, activate the assassin. And afterwards, he tried to talk about it. I said, no, this is mind control. It's another personality. Watch Manchurian Candidate. Very real. And we're easily programmed. I've seen UFOs show up. I see spirits nowadays. I didn't. I thought, this is crazy. I grew up in an atheistic scientific household in Sweden. Are you kidding me? England, total Western education, then New England. Can you get any more conservative? Sweden, England, as a little schoolboy being programmed with my uniform. Then to New England, the East Coast elites. Our high school had more PhDs teaching than any high school in the country. Little West Hartford, Connecticut. Beautiful, perfect. Yale University. And I said, no, I can't go there. I can't. Something took over when I was 19. The spirit started talking to me, so I didn't go down that path. Hedge funds, stuff like that. I still ended up getting a master's degree in international business, thinking if I could get people to talk to each other, they wouldn't fight. If we trade, then we're less apt to go fight with each other. Hey, he's got stuff I want, and I had dinner with them last week in Korea. Let's not bomb them. That was my thought. And then when I was 29, God said, no, we're going to go bigger now. So being mind-controlled, whether you're scientism, religionism, New Ageism, whatever frickin' ism you get stuck in, obviously communism, there's people now who have so little history. And on purpose, we dumb down people. Today, most of the young people wearing their black masks and their hammer and sickle, that's insane. Stalin killed, 20 million of his own people. Mao Zedong, 100 million of his own people. But it draws good-hearted people because it says, the communistic ideals are to share. You work with your ability, and you give as much as you can, but everyone gets taken care of. How good is that? That's why it draws the heart people. But when the heart people aren't healed, then the road to hell is paved with good intentions, and you end up shouting down. Just at Evergreen College, just 1 or 2 days ago, there's a very liberal place in Washington State that used to have a day of honoring races, and now it's shifted to no white people allowed on the campus on this day. All right, cool. Well, one professor who's also super liberal said, well, this is getting a little far, and they physically almost attacked him. So this good intention, I want justice for everyone, I'm a social justice warrior. Well, when you go into warrior, you're no better than a Christian or a Muslim that's wanting to kill people. When you surround your professor, who's totally agreeing with you, except he has a point about something. He wants to, say, well, this is going a little too far. And you almost lynch him. How are you any better than what was perpetrated on you? Wake up. So, unless the humans are healed emotionally, we're still easily mind controllable. We're fodder for the machine. We don't need no education, right? Teacher, leave those kids alone. Total programming. Watch the video. Obviously, it's a huge resonation from Pink Floyd because we're going, I don't want the fucking mind control programming. Get off of me. As a 2-year-old, the child says, no. And then it succumbs to the control of the parents. And then when they're a teenager, they try it again. No. And they succumb. And then they try it again when they're 29. No, I don't want to get sucked into the matrix. There you are. And that happens one more time, called your midlife crisis, or the menopause for women, when your kundalini finally turns back into you. Instead of you pouring the blood out for the world and serving everyone else as the feminine is wont to do to excess, it turns back. The kundalini turns back in. You retain the blood, literally. You retain the energy. That's why you have the hot flashes. Well, quit fucking complaining about the hot flashes. Those are actually real Kundalini, Holy Spirit energies trying to wake you up and give you your own energy. But you've been so programmed, I have to give it to everyone else first. Mommy comes last. She cooks for everyone. And then I'm in the kitchen maybe just eat. Is everyone happy? Is everyone happy? Is everyone happy? That's not healthy. The back of my book, it says, what if almost everything you've ever been told is a lie? Listening to the Sun, the book. I keep getting people writing me every week saying, wow, this is the most honest thing I've ever heard, or unbelievable, you triggered me. I actually was shaking in my body and I was feeling all these releases. I'm not doing it, you're doing it. I'm a little, catalyst, but it's your spirit doing it. All right, you got to come out of the mind-controlled programming. If you don't, you're a lemming. You're going to go off the cliff with this. Obviously, it's starting to shake up now. Our media is showing itself more and more as total lies. The young millennials now, they don't even watch TV. They're just like, no, they get their info from whatever source they choose online, Got to get out of the mind, being mind-controlled. Got to get out of it. And start thinking for yourself. To thine own self be true. Your only thing you owe this life is to this life to be true to you. What's really in you? What do you want? Who are you, really? I'm so-and-so with a social security number, and I did this, and I have these degrees, and I got 2 kids. I don't give a shit. Spirit doesn't give a shit about that stuff. When you go to the other side, it's like, etch-a-sketch. All that identifying resume is gone. Even your name is gone when you leave this body. Store your treasures on earth, crap, all that'll rot, rust, all that shit that Jesus said. And any other teacher says. You participate in the world, but you got to come out of the mind control. So I'm not being negative. I'm pointing out, here's the shit to watch out for, right? Learn to discern. You're the only one. that can heal yourself. There's some powerful methods to do that. Ancient techniques. InnerBodyAwakening.com. Do it. It keeps me on track every day. I do it all the time. TheAlchemyEnergyProcess.com will help you to teach, remind you that you are a creator and dissolver of energies. You are a god. Not a piece of shit, flotsam and jetsam, sinner, expendable piece of human protoplasm that they can use as a battery to suck energy from. And then decide theheartenergy.com. Theheartenergy.com. Decide to make a heartful creation. And heartful creation is not, oh, hi, I'm the super bleeding heart person. I want to put everyone else first before me and just take care. I want everyone to be happy. I just want them to be happy. That's insane cat lady syndrome. Many spiritual people have insane bleeding heart syndrome. Not healthy, not balanced. All right. Not being negative. Being caveat. Watch this. Don't do that. And then assume your power, your own godhood. Tomorrow, webcast at 10:30. You don't have to attend live, by the way. Just go to tobiaslars.com, look for the webcast. These are growing. My intention is to grow these so we can have an online community every week where we can commune and create a nice energetic field of people that really want real awakening, not some pre-programmed solution formula, some holy wafer garbage Scientology crapola that has some pre-packaged answer. That's not what we're doing. You have the answers. We are unique soul prints, each of us. This shocks people when I say this. Well, Jesus became the Christ. You're meant to become the Christ too, like Meister Eckhart said. Hazel seeds grow into hazel trees. Strawberry seeds grow into strawberries. God seeds grow into gods. Well, you are a God seed. But like most, the seeds fall on fallow ground and never come to fruit. The same with earth humans. Most do not come to God fruit. Maybe in the long run, but in any given cycle, don't expect the program people to wake up. Just recognize for what they are. They believe in the earth is only 6,000 years old because Hezekiah begat Zechariah. Absolute religious programming insanity, whether it's Muslims, fanatical Hebrews, Orthodox Hebrews, they still want to bring back the red heifer and slaughter her and bleed her blood on the Temple Mount. Stuck in tradition. Christians, Hindus get that way. Humans get that way. Buddhists get that way. I'm not picking on anybody. Shamans get that way. Just because you found some shaman in Peru, I've done over 45 ayahuasca ceremonies. I'm just showing this as I'm not a newbie to it, with multiple shamans in the Amazon and in Peru. I know a little bit about it, but inside the shamanic community as well, as my master shaman says, 90% of them are charlatans. They get seduced by power, so you have to be very careful with where you choose to go and do ayahuasca, especially as it's becoming more and more popular. I go to Hopi land, there's dark black magic up there, so it's native, it's all pure, and that's bullshit. It's not that way at all. That's mind control too. Shamanistic mind control is as bad as atheistic mind control. It's about freedom. Sovereign beings that start to realize, as within, so without. As I believe, as my programs, they are creating my reality. I'm the projection mechanism of the pure light source of Father, Mother, Source, God that exists in my kundalini, in my spinal column, in my brain, in my heart, in all my fountains of life. And as you project that on the world, you get a reflection, the law of reflection. Look it up, video I made a few years ago. Law of reflection, Tobias. You are reflecting yourself back. We're not quite ready to have the veil come down, so we have a lying and denying media and or politicians or lawyers or doctors or priests or whatever. That's us, because we're just starting to go, do we want to know? I don't know. I want to keep sedated. I want to be sedated. Thank you, St. Joey Ramone, telling the truth. We do want to be sedated. Give me that. Look, at Thanksgiving, you get together once a year. See the family, what do you want to do? You sedate yourself with turkey and freaking alcohol. I don't really want to feel anything. I just want to get through this so I can get back to my TV watching. You're a matrix battery. You're being used by what's called the archons. Look it up. The Gnostics, the early Christians, had it right. The gnosis means to know that there's these beings that feed off of the demiurge, the false god, not the one Jesus talks about. I've met Jesus 3 times. It's a real being. I've met Krishna. I've met Shiva. Why? I've made this my interest the last 30 years of my life. I said, I want to know. I want to go after this. It's not a fun journey. It sucks at times, down to your last 20 bucks. I'm not projecting that you should need to have that happen, but you got to get away from worshiping your idols if you want the real journey. Oh, I want a house in the suburbs. Nothing wrong with that, but if you're putting that first, you're going to have an autistic child, or something's going to come and wake you up. If you want wake up. People that don't want wake up, they're going to stay in the matrix and die in the matrix. Live by the sword, die by the sword. Live by the matrix, die by the matrix. Let them walk away. Walk away, sir. Just drop it and walk away. Create your own life. Find your own new timeline. The old matrix, the old cult, the old culture, it's going to go the way the Roman culture went. It's already decaying completely. People are basically mindless, programmed television robots. The 80-85% of them. And then there's 15% of us that are like, what the F is going on? I want to wake up. Focus on that. I heal myself, and as God's Spirit inspires me, I find others, and we're creating a new heaven, new earth. But this time, no one knows how it's going to play out. Could there be mass extinctions and big wars? Could happen. Could North Korea get one off finally? Hit Japan or something, or South Korea and set it off? Yeah, could happen. Could the Middle East go off totally? Yeah, could happen. But there's enough of us as an interest. It seems to be an interest in enough of us, that 10-15% of the earth. We don't really want to do a whole civilizational wipeout again. So this time it might be a slow disintegration, a slow dissolving from the inside. It's like a corrupting. The old is being decayed, and there's something new growing at the same time. So it's not a total destruction. That's the timeline I find myself on. It's all going to be revealed, all the shit, the secret pedophilia rings. I keep talking about that. The fact that we don't have free energy, the fact that the religions have been I was going to talk about the Vatican. The Vatican has massive storage of ancient texts and also ancient books that are written on materials that don't decay. These are E.T. books from Atlantis, the emerald tablets. There's a white material, and these would look like E.T. symbols, or it's called the heavenly language. The Pleiadian or passing the river script is the closest to it. But these were from a particular race of E.T.s. And these were in Atlantis, Lemuria, and then Egypt, and then finally Library of Alexandria, and then the Vatican took over that. They burned the library. They just burned all the tax forms, is what they really did, and they took all the good manuscripts. And these eternal books, these really exist. They tell the bigger story. They've got the Gospel of Judas, the Gospel of Thomas. That's all in the Vatican. They got that. But why is it secreted away? Because we, the public, are like, oh, Father, please take my son and give him his re-education in the back room and give me the holy wafer and the letters of indulgence. We're to blame for it. Don't blame be outraged, but if you're going to, people still go back to their abusers. Oh, I know it's bullshit, but I feel better. You're on fucking heroin. You know it's bad, but you're still taking it. You're taking religion still, programmed religion. You're a religion addict. You're a heroin user. I know, but it gives good moral teaching to the kids. Really? And you want them to get raped again like you did? It's insane. Get out of being mind controlled. It's time. Total time. All right. Maybe that moment of intention. Full conscious breath. You vote with your spinal column. Tell the universe what you want. I want free energy. I want the exposure of all the cabals that do horrible secret fucking sex trafficking and murdering of kids. I want that exposed. I want free energy to come out, like I said. I want it to become easier and easier, a healthy money system that's owned by the people online. Feel it, feel it, feel it. Not PayPal, but something like PayPal that you own. As much as you use it, that's how much you get profits back. Wow! An end run around the whole Federal Reserve and the International Bank of Settlements run by the Rothschilds. What do you know? Bitcoin, Ethereum, some new currencies. It's starting. But if you don't stay awake, it'll get squished. The president of Bitcoin about a year ago got killed in Singapore, a young woman. Why? Duh. If you don't keep on it, if you don't keep telling the universe what you want, it'll slide right back to, I want to be sedated. Can I have my Cheetos, please, and my Diet Dr. Pepper? And let's watch, I don't care what I watch. I like watching commercials. You slide right back to that. Like Benjamin Franklin said, the people usually get the government they deserve. The fact that an outsider like Trump even got in there, if it had been Bernie, it would have been just as good. They were outsiders of the system. That's showing that the collective is fucking sick of being programmed left or right, tweedly-dum or tweedly-dumber. I mean, come on, John Kerry and Bush, the same, secret skull and bone society at Yale. How's there a choice? Kerry and Bush, they're the same fucking thing. Remember that election? Gore's totally on the take. The Clintons, the Bushes. It's an illusion of choice. Wake up. It's no choice. But if you want to go back to sleep, then Trump will get assassinated, and so would have Bernie. They would have just gotten rid of. They did. They stole his. They obviously stole it. The Democratic National Convention. Bernie was the candidate. They just stole it from him. That's why Wasserman, the lady, Debbie Wasserman, had to resign. She got caught red-handed doing it. It's obvious. Seth Rich was killed because he was sharing it with WikiLeaks. Now they're suppressing that story because any pinprick in the Truman Show balloon, whether it's ancient 12-foot giants found in what looks like zoot suits or some ET suits in the Grand Canyon. I was just watching something about that, which I've heard about for years. Or Göbekli Tepe, or the fact that the Sphinx is 110,000 years old, or any little pinprick in the Truman Show balloon that is going to have the whole thing come apart. So God's being very gentle with us all. He's not doing if 100 spaceships decloaked today over 100 major cities, or just 10 of them, let's just do 10. In New York, LA, Tokyo, whatever, right? London. They decloaked and just sat there for like 3 days. That would force us to wake up. But invariably, with the level of dumbed-down education and fear programming in humans today, we would panic, like War of the Worlds. We'd be believing that what they would sell us, which would be, these are evil ETs, we all need to band together as humans. Total fucking bullshit. So unless enough of a critical mass of humans come out of the programming, it doesn't change. Not being negative, just being truth-telling. All right, enough for now. Mo later.